of toxic shame, and we do have a video on our TikTok page that went out about this subject today, so please feel free to go check that out. Let's go right into it. The psychological basis of humility is healthy shame. It grants us the right to being human, and it teaches us that mistakes are inevitable and that we will require support in our lives. However, shame, which is a normal emotion, can develop into a state of being and control one's entire identity. Shame can transfer into an identity and becomes toxic and demeaning when you think that you're flawed and defective as a person. Typically, toxic shame starts during childhood. Because toxic guilt is such a horrible emotion, we naturally try to avoid it at all costs. We interpret mistakes and failures as evidence of our inferiority rather than a necessary part of the learning process. So, sometimes we always avoid those because we don't want to make mistakes. But as we talked about earlier, it is part of the learning process that we do make mistakes in our lives. Here are some signs of toxic shame that some people do encounter. Isolation, getting close with others, low self-esteem, avoiding emotions or situations, feelings of guilt, having to be perfect all the time, impulsive or damaging actions, or just establishing and not understanding healthy boundaries. Here are a few exercises to help you with toxic shame if this is something that you feel you might experience. One is to give up denial. It's critical to recognize that trauma naturally causes avoidance. The brain is programmed to avoid unpleasant experiences. Therefore, it makes sense that your brain would choose to ignore the truth about your trauma and denying it. Another exercise that can help you with toxic shame is to overcome helplessness. You can also practice mindfulness, and this is a great way to overcome that helplessness. And lastly, one of the most important things that you can do for yourself is to seek therapy. And if you may be struggling with toxic shame, if any of these items that we talked about you feel that you struggle with, visit our website or call us today to get started with online therapy at Macon Wellness. Visit maconwellness.com or call 833-274-HEAL to get started with an online therapist today. Thank you all for joining our very short and sweet live. I hope you were able to take something away from this subject. Please join us tomorrow to talk about ADHD masking. Thank you all for joining.